Joining us now, former acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary during the Trump administration, Chad Wolf. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you watched that little girl, to hear that she and her mother both perished there in the Arizona desert. I mean, it is human trafficking. It is real. It's not just numbers of people coming across. These are real human beings who are losing their lives because they've been incentivized to come to the United States.
Well, it's absolutely correct, and that's a heartbreaking story, but we see a lot of those throughout the course of the year and throughout this crisis. But we have to remember that the Biden administration, again, is encouraging these individuals. We're seeing historic numbers month after month after month, and in the process, we see more migrant deaths in the desert that public safety officials and Border Patrol are seeing every day, but we're also seeing more in-custody deaths in CBP, and that's because of the sheer number of individuals crossing that border illegally every month. And so this border policy that the Biden administration has partaken and undergone over the last several months is a very inhumane policy that's having some devastating consequences.
There were some 65,000 people that came across as unaccompanied minors. Our understanding is roughly a third of those are unaccounted for. The Biden administration has totally lost track with them. They thought they could just get a telephone number and call and check up on them, but they can't find them now. I mean, how is that not human trafficking, and how is it that we allow so many unaccompanied minors just loose within the United States of America?
Well, we need to keep in mind that this is the same administration that rolled back Trump-era vetting requirements for those same sponsors. We had put in place a very robust sponsoring procedures to make sure we knew who those individuals were that we were placing these minors with. This administration rolled back those, and now they are releasing them. They don't know where they're at, which makes it even more difficult for these minors to show up to their immigration proceedings, which they are required to do by law. But if you can't even locate them, you can't locate them or their sponsor, then you know they're not showing up for court. And so it's exactly right, Jason. It's human trafficking really at its worst.
Well, and the other thing that's being trafficked are a lot of drugs. I mean, fentanyl is reportedly more dangerous, more deadly than heroin, and yet the Biden administration is actually looking to following through on this idea that these crimes, they would lessen the penalties for them. How is that going to help make our country more safe and secure?
Well, it's not. At the end of the day, I think folks need to keep in mind that the historic number of folks that we are seeing cross the border enrich the cartels every day. For every individual crossing that border, it's $5,000 to $10,000 that they pay a cartel member. These cartels are putting that money back into their illicit business. They continue to traffic illegal narcotics such as fentanyl and others. And the 200% that you mentioned at the top of the segment is only in the amount that we are actually apprehending. And we know that the vast majority is getting through. And why do we know that? Because Border Patrol agents are no longer on the line doing their national security mission. They're back in facilities trying to care for all these migrants that are coming across that border. So the 200% increase is a good start, but it's only a small percentage of actually what's coming through that border, again, fueled by the cartels and fueled by the Biden administration's policies.
Yeah, the drug cartels know what they're doing, unfortunately, and this administration doesn't. But hey, you know, Kamala Harris, she's on top of it. There should be nothing to worry about. Former acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf, thank you for your service. Thanks for joining us on Sunday Morning Futures.